So one of my favorite things is when my partner program alumni dogs come back to day camp, and especially when we do enrichment, which is where we can continue training and we get to kind of work on some more fun stuff. Now that we have all this foundational obedience in place, we can kind of do some fun stuff. So in this case, our goal is to have Nash learn how to wipe his mouth after he drinks water. So unlike most of the behaviors that he's learned thus far with us, we've used food luring to get him into these behaviors like sit and down and heel in place. In this case, when we use free shaping, we're actually going to set up the environment so that the dog is likely to perform something close to the action that we want. And by approximation, we can get the dog closer and closer to the goal. So I'm going to be utilizing my clicker. One of the really awesome things that the clicker can help us with is it helps accelerate learning, and it helps take like a snapshot of the behavior the dog is currently doing. My goal for this exercise, which can be a little bit fluid, we're going to see how it goes. I'd like to set the rag down. Most likely he's going to go over and investigate it, and what I'm going to do is click the moment he investigates the rag. Then I'm going to repeat that every time he walks over and investigates the rag. From there, I would be able to raise the criteria and see what would end up happening is he'll catch on to the fact that he goes over and rubs his, he sniffs the rag or looks at the rag. And then he's like, oh, when I do this, this equals food. At some point, you should see him kind of purposely walking over and trying to elicit the click and reward. So what happens with free shaping is the dog does this behavior, and then when it doesn't elicit the reward response that it was previously getting, they'll make the behavior stronger, and we should start to be able to click for having him hold his head on there longer periods of time, etc. So I'm going to kind of get him warmed up a little bit and moving around. Make sure that he's responding to his clicker nicely. You. Good boy. All right. So I'm going to toss a piece of food out. Hello. Whoops, that stuck to my hand. Now we're both lost. There we go. I'm going to place this thing here. I'm going to see if he'll investigate it on his own. With free shaping, I don't want to help the dog very much. I really want the dog to start to kind of have a try it attitude. I want the dog to kind of see, what else should I do? So I think he's totally not really noticing this rag. So I'm actually going to let him eat a couple pieces off of that. Great. He's going to come over to see if I'm going to give him any food. And what should happen is that he should return to that rag at some point just to make sure he didn't miss any pieces. With free shaping, you want to help the dog out as minimal as possible. The most I'll usually do is use a little bit of spatial pressure to kind of encourage the dog to kind of move around, especially in the beginning if dogs aren't used to free shaping. They may not, right there. And he missed his clicker, which is a bummer. So to get this really where we want it to be, utilizing the clicker. Yes, so he should be running over to me to get food when he hears that clicker. So I recommend for homework for him that we revisit the clicker homework when we first introduced it, which is just pairing the clicker with food from us in such a way that the dog starts to hear that clicker and runs over to us to get food. So I'm just moving my body, and I'm doing that so that he eventually will start to check out that rag, which he kind of did. I probably could have clicked there, which would have been good. But I'll see if I can kind of get him over here. Yeah, I'm going to click right there where he kind of looked. So in the first sessions of free shaping, it's really about rewarding the dog for effort and trying. And a lot of times it can look like you're just standing around and the dog's like, what are we doing? But eventually the more sessions of free shaping you do, the more your dog will interact with the environment and start to offer behaviors. He's offering SIT. Nice. Good boy. And again, having that really sharp clicker response will help this process go much faster. If he has a very nice, I'm going to click right there again where he checked out the rag. Nice. So even just walking near it, sometimes happy accidents can be clicked for. Nice, good boy. Got a little crunchy treat mixed in there. Stuck in his jowls. Yeah, so I'm really looking to see, yes, good. The moment he really purposely checks out that rag. Yes. So I'm thinking we're going to start to see some magic here. And basically what I'm looking for is that purposeful, I'm going to check this rag out because that equals the reward. Perfect. So for right now, our criteria is just like interact with this rag in any way. And in later sessions, we'll actually start to get him to hold his mouth for a longer period of time on the rag. And then later on, good, we will mix in the water bowl and kind of associate the water, drinking water, with immediately putting his mouth on the rag after drinking. Nice. Did you get one? It's like I always say, he's like feeding a walrus. Good boy. Now, what will be helpful is that we use the same rag for right now. Eventually, we could get him to do it on any kind of towel or rag or whatever we decide. Good. But for now, it would be better, good, to make sure we use this rag for all of our training our free shaping lessons. Good. Yum, yum, yum. Nice. What I want to try to do is actually toss a piece out and see if he kind of returns to this rag. Good. I'm going to try to feed him far, like away. So before I was rewarding at the source. Now I want to kind of see him more actively seek out that rag. Just like that. Good boy. But you missed your clicker. Good boy. And I'll most likely have to kind of walk back around the table. Not like, oh, very good. You missed your clicker. Good boy. Good boy. Nice. When he parks it, I'll kind of move around a little bit just to help him get up. And I could have probably clicked there. Yeah, but I think he was gonna go move his. So this looks really good. I would probably end it right here. What I do with free shaping, whatever it is that we're working with, I want to take it away because I don't want him to get any reps of touching it and not getting reinforced. So we're gonna move this and we're gonna put a pin in that. We want to end on a rate of good success. So we'll keep working on this and make some progress here. Good job, Nash.